After reading my grandmother's will, my greedy father was handed $100 million in cash while I was publicly humiliated with only a one-way ticket to Hong Kong, completely unaware that in that very moment, a deadly trap had already been set in motion that would soon destroy the entire family. $100 million in cash. Those words were still echoing in my ears as the lawyer began reading my grandmother's will. We were all sitting there in that large conference room, inside a towering glass building in downtown Chicago. Outside, the winter wind was cutting through the city, and inside, everything felt like it had frozen in time. My father, he was already sitting straighter, like he knew today was the day his fate would be written exactly the way he wanted. And then that moment arrived. To my son, I leave the full inheritance of $100 million in cash assets and holdings. That was it. I remember my breath just stopped. No one said a word, but on my father's face, that smile, that greedy, satisfied smile, like he had already won everything. And then the lawyer opened the second envelope. And to my granddaughter, a one-way ticket to Hong Kong. A soft laugh moved through the room, people glanced at each other, and it felt like something inside me cracked open. Wait, what? My voice sounded foreign to my own ears. But no one answered. My father just looked at me and said quietly, "You knew this already, didn't you? You were never fit for this family." And then he stepped forward, signed the papers, and took the check. $100 million. And me? Just a small white envelope, holding a single airline ticket. Hong Kong, one way. I just stood there, the faces in the room blurred together, like I was suddenly watching my life from far away. "Please step aside," the lawyer said softly. And I walked out. The cold air hit my face the moment I stepped outside, and I wondered, was I really that worthless? You know that feeling, when something inside you breaks, but no sound comes out? I was standing outside Starbucks, holding that ticket, my coffee already cold. And my phone buzzed with a message from my best friend. "You okay? Did it happen?" I typed back, "No idea what just happened." And then I laughed, yeah, a strange laugh, because even crying wouldn't have changed anything at that point. But the truth is, that wasn't just a will reading. It was a trap. I only realized that later. My life before that wasn't perfect either. I was the girl who never missed Sunday brunch, whose Starbucks order was always an iced vanilla latte, who showed up every Wednesday at book club pretending life was perfectly under control. But inside, it was chaos. My father always made me feel like I was not enough. "You will never reach that level," he used to say. And I used to laugh, because I had convinced myself maybe he was right. That night, when the will was announced, I stayed in my car for a long time. The Chicago skyline was glowing, but inside me, everything was dark. And then Daniel called. "Where are you?" "Outside." "I'm coming." Daniel. He was the only person who ever told the truth, even when it hurt. When he arrived, he looked at me and said quietly, "This isn't the ending." I laughed bitterly. "Oh yeah? Then what is it?" "Humiliation." He shook his head. "No, set up." And that was the first time I felt something shift inside me. The next day, I held that ticket in my hand and prepared to leave for Hong Kong. But something felt off. My passport details were already processed. Hotel reservation already confirmed. And the flight, first class. For a one-way ticket? That didn't make sense. I told Daniel. He only said, "You're going, but not alone." Hong Kong. That city. Neon lights, towering buildings, rainy nights. When I stepped out of the airport, it felt like I had entered a completely different story. And then I found another envelope. In my hotel room. Red. The same color. Just like before. Inside it was written. "You weren't sent away, you were sent to where the truth is buried." My hands started shaking. And then flashbacks. My grandmother. She was always quiet. But her eyes saw everything. She used to say, "Money is never the real power is what's hidden beneath it." I never understood her. Not until now. In the next few days in Hong Kong, I went through documents, hidden accounts, trust funds, offshore companies, and one pattern kept repeating itself. My father's name wasn't even at the center. It was someone else. My stepmother. This was the real trap. The will wasn't just inheritance. It was an investigation. And me? I was the key. Daniel told me. You were used, but you're also the key to everything. One night, I saw my stepmother in the hotel lobby. She looked nervous. And for the first time, she didn't look powerful anymore. I walked up to her and said softly, "You thought you got rid of me?" She froze. I took a sip of coffee and added, "But you actually gave me the way in." She said nothing. And then the moment came. My father arrived in Hong Kong too. Angry. Panicked. Losing control of the $100 million. He saw me and shouted, "You did this." I looked at him calmly and said, "No, you did." And for the first time, he had nothing to say. I told him everything. The trust funds. The hidden fraud. My grandmother's plan. Daniel's investigation. And how my one-way ticket was never a punishment. It was a trigger. He collapsed. Not physically, but emotionally. And me? I just stood there. No screaming. No crying. Just truth. And that was my revenge. Back in Chicago. My friends saw me again at book club. One of them laughed and said, "Girl, you disappeared and came back like a whole movie character." We all laughed. Real laughter. Not heavy. Just light. Daniel handed me coffee and asked, "You okay?" I looked out the window and said, "Yeah. I think I finally am. I'm okay. Just okay." And for the first time, I truly meant it. If this story moved you or kept you hooked till the end, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more powerful emotional stories like this. Your support truly helps us grow and keep creating. Thank you so much for watching and being here. It means a lot.